Good afternoon, Internet. Happy Saturday. Today marks 4 years in Chicago for me. Pretty wild stuff. I'm going to start off with some push-ups. Ooh. If you would like to do some push-ups at home along with me, that would be super fun. And again, if you can't do a full push-up, there's nothing wrong with that. You can start with push-ups from your knees like this. The further out you push them, the harder it gets. But yeah, even just like a 5 knee push-ups today is better than just saying, well, I can't do it and giving up on this part of physical fitness. Oh gosh, my left arm kind of hurts actually. Maybe I need to do knee push-ups today. Oh, there's like a knot in my left arm. Okay, scratch that for a second. I think we're gonna stretch my arms because I don't want to hurt myself. Ugh. Today marks 4 years in Chicago for me. Kind of wild to think about that. 4 years ago, I was a very, very, very different person. I was much more closed off. I was very afraid of a lot of parts of myself. I felt like there was something wrong with me in a lot of ways. I felt like I was very misunderstood, and I also wasn't really interested in understanding other people. I had my ideas, and it felt like nobody wanted to listen. And if I'm honest, I don't think I really wanted to listen to anyone else. And yeah, 2020 happened, and that was a pretty crazy time. It was pretty wild to be here in 2020. I moved here August 4th, 2019. And then even through the fall, I was on tour and back in Ohio a whole bunch. And I did my boat gig. Oh, hold on. And I didn't really, how do I say it? I remember I got back from a bunch of touring and the riverboat gig and stuff February of 2020. And I remember sitting in my room or on the couch and thinking, why am I here? What am I doing in Chicago? And I felt very confused and lost. And then COVID shut everything down in March. And I was really confused and lost. I was losing my mind. But then fast forward to April of 2020, and I started playing the concerts on my front porch. And 6 months later, I had played a concert on my front porch every night, and hired some of the best musicians in the city. Some really amazing things that happened. I remember Matt Ulery telling me that I reinvigorated his life. Zach Marks told me that every musician who's has any clout in the scene knows about Danny's Porch and wants to play on Danny's Porch. And that was really beautiful. But even at the time, I was definitely way closed off, pretty resentful, scared to open up. Didn't really believe my Chicago peeps I met were ever really going to be my friend. And that feeling persisted for a long time. And actually, it was in February of 2022 when, I guess, 2021, January 2021, I signed up for life coaching with Derek. And that started a shift. I started to open up. I started to see ways in which I was blocking myself. Early on with my coaching with Derek, one thing that struck me was when he said, I told him I didn't know what my brand was. And he said, you know exactly what your brand is. You're just embarrassed or ashamed of it. And that was really helpful because I think that was starting a shift of realizing, oh, my brand is everything I do. It's not trying to eliminate things I do, but it's embracing all the stuff I do, which everything I do might not be for everyone. But I should keep stretching because I want to do some push-ups. And I don't want my left arm to hurt. Ooh, that's a good stretch. Look at my belly. Gonna start at OnlyFans soon. Then you'll see more of me in the nude on my OnlyFans soon. I'll take off my pants and dance. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, so 2021 talked about, Derek and I talked about knowing exactly what my brand was, and it took a long time to embrace. It's like, yeah, I write music of all different styles. Some of it's really weird, some of it's more normal, some of it's funny, some of it's serious. Some of it is like ska music, some of it's like video game music, some of it's more on the jazz side of the spectrum, some of it is very crazy and goofy and weird, and some of it is kind of poignant and critical of society. And through 2021, I had some relationships with some people who were very narcissistic and toxic, and it took a while to realize that there are people who will just take advantage of you if you're really nice, and there are people who have no interest in serving anyone but themselves, and will take advantage of you. And when I think about 2021, that was a year when almost every day I would walk down the street and someone would tell me, comment on how I did those porch shows in 2020 and say that saved their life, that was the thing that kept them sane during the lockdowns. And that's really cool, because that's also been a shift over the past few years where I've realized that music is a gift. And that might sound obvious, but I pretty much always through my life played music because I liked playing music. I was like, well, music is fun. And in fact, I didn't see it as a gift so much, where I kind of thought that if somebody hired me to play music, I was like pulling a fast one on them. Like, really? You want me to come screw around and you're going to pay me? Okay. And I started to shift. Actually, it was November of 2021 when I started to really open up to the idea of music being a gift. And I remember saying that I started to think about what I was doing more like a barista than anything, where it's like, oh, it's a service. And like, just like when you need to go, if you want to go to a coffee shop to get some coffee to, have some energy and maybe have a space to work, and the barista provides that service, the musician provides the service of creating the space to evoke emotions that otherwise might be under the surface, where a sad song can help create the space where it's okay to cry, and a really funky fun dance song can create the space where it's okay to be funky and dance and wiggle your butt, and it doesn't matter if you look stupid or not. And music evokes emotions in a way that nothing else can. And I started to think that way in 2021 November, and that helped me kickstart in 2022 my 100 videos in 100 days that I did right at the beginning of 2022. At this point in time, I still didn't really believe anybody wanted to be my friend. And even like people who were maybe starting to be my friends, I was very guarded and very, just unsure if I could trust anyone, because really, honestly, I didn't trust myself is what it came down to. And in February of 2022, I took the Landmark Forum, which that was really powerful because I learned so much from that. All the lessons from that I still share with people all the time. Choosing your life is like a river. All that exists is this moment, and it's empty and meaningless, and we're meaning-making machines. Authenticity is difficult for people. People are default so authentic that they're even authentic about how they're authentic. And that opened me up. That after that, I reached out to some friends and shared with them how I was feeling inauthentic. And I'm really close with some of those guys, especially like John Marks. Like, he's one of my best buds here. He was one of the first people I reached out to after that. And I did my 100 video challenge, which was really cool. That pushed me. And I learned a lot about how much I can write, how creative I can be. And yeah, I guess then going into that was 2022. Yeah, we made it to 2022 already. Wow. Yeah, 2021 was an interesting year. 2021 was a stuck in the mud year. I had to let go of some toxic people. Thank God the one in particular doesn't even live in Chicago anymore. And really come to terms with some things about myself. 2022, I did the 100 video challenge, and then also that was when I met this lady that I fell in love with. Maybe fell in love with. Who knows what love is? But I definitely was smitten, and she changed my life radically for the better, even though she's no longer in my life. She showed me that my weirdness was something to celebrate, and that it's okay to believe what I believe, and that there are beautiful women who will be interested in spending time with me, and even be romantic with me, even though it was not always clear about that with her. And she helped inspire me to restart believing I could do original music. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have started Safety Squad Up again at the beginning of the year. And yeah, I go through waves of heartache, wishing she was still in my life, but understanding life is a river and we've flowed in different directions. And if we're to flow in the same direction again, it'll happen. And if not, it's okay. Yeah, 2022, I think, was a transformation like that. In November of 2022, I took my belief of music being a service to another level, where I kind of doubled down and was like, I'm standing on the possibility of every interaction I have with people being a service, and every note I play being in service to people, and creating the space for people to feel and be. Yeah, and then at the beginning of 2023, I made a commitment to unapologetic bravery and to change the world by being authentic and vulnerable and showing others a path to being authentic and vulnerable. And that my focus on friendship and fun can really help serve people. And friendship and fun is important. Yeah, and now 2023, this has been kind of the wildest year of my life. It's first year I've given myself permission to cry. I've come up with the phrases, I love myself enough to, and I give myself permission to. And in June of 2023, or maybe it was in May, I started to go really hard on making internet content. And there was a period where I was posting 2 to 3 short videos a day, and really starting to build a following there in a big way, and open myself up to mistakes are actually good. You know, I've realized I like mistakes in music. I like when things go wrong. I like watching a band almost fall apart and recover. I like watching improv when it goes bad. It's funny even when it's bad. I also gave myself a birthday gift of signing up for a stand-up comedy class. So I've been taking those classes and going to open mics and stuff. You know, I went to an open mic once in Columbus. It was terrifying. And then I went to maybe one a year in my time in Chicago, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. And then now this year I've been to at least 5 or 6 open mics, done the class, which has been, actually I've probably been to like 10 open mics this year. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and we got this new album coming out with some really incredible music on it. We got this show coming up in September, and I've been going to public parks and beaches and making up songs for people. I've adopted the philosophy experiments never fail. I've been doing coaching, and I don't know. I guess I'm just like, this is kind of a little rambly, but I'm just reflecting on how cool it is that I live in Chicago. And I didn't think anything that has happened would happen, but it's all happened and it's beautiful. And oh yeah, I've been taking voice lessons for 2 years, and my teacher is a beautiful, amazing person. We've gotten really close. And yeah, I think that's all I want to share on here. Just a reflection. This might not be for anyone but me, just to reflect, but happy 4 years in Chicago to me. if you've been in my life in these past 4 years, I'm very grateful for you. I'm very grateful for all the people I've met on my path in Chicago, the good and the bad, because there's definitely been some bad experiences. There's been a lot of good. And I'm writing the story of my life to write it to be good. And yeah, cool. I'm going to wrap it up here. 15 minutes. Way too long, Danny. All right. Love you guys. Bye.